In 2000, a shocking case in Malaysia changed the nation's public transport system. A 24-year-old female office worker, returned from studying abroad, vanished on her way to work after boarding a mysterious bus. When police found her, she had been strangled and was lying naked in a remote construction site, her skin sun-darkened, with 44 man-made injuries. More tragically, the forensic examiner found male semen in her private parts, confirming she had been assaulted. Following the clues, police identified the murderer as the very driver of that bus. But an enraging twist followed. The driver wasn't a first-time offender. He had prior convictions for sexual assault and robbery. Yet this repeat offender, using just a medical report, fooled a bus company with no screening awareness. On his 10th day of employment, he targeted an innocent girl. On the afternoon of October 7, 2000, Kuala Lumpur police received a report. The reporter stated he found a female body near a construction site in Bukit Tinggi, Klang. Upon receiving the report, police quickly arrived and saw the body. It was completely naked, skin noticeably darkened from prolonged exposure, facial features almost unrecognizable. The body was taken for preliminary examination. The autopsy revealed the deceased was aged 20 to 25, with 44 man-made injuries on her body. Cause of death was mechanical asphyxiation from strangulation. More shockingly, semen was collected from her body, confirming sexual assault before death. As police worked to identify the body, they received an emergency call. The caller, distressed, said her daughter was missing and requested help finding her. With a newly discovered body and a missing person report, police, thinking to check, asked the caller to identify the body. As expected, the moment the woman saw the body, she collapsed onto it, wailing uncontrollably. Through her sobs, police confirmed the deceased was her daughter, 24-year-old Noor Suzali Mukhtar. After Noor's mother calmed slightly, police questioned her and learned the circumstances of Noor's disappearance. Noor, born 1976 in Perlis, was her parents' only daughter. Doted on by her parents, they tried to give her everything. Thus, when she wanted to study in the UK, despite being poor, her loving parents resolved to sell their possessions and borrowed £30,000 from relatives to send her to De Montfort University. In the UK, Noor knew her parents' sacrifice. She was diligent and hardworking. During the day, she attended classes diligently, never late or leaving early. At night, she worked at restaurants and convenience stores, studying and earning money to lessen the family's burden. Her perseverance finally paid off. She earned a computer engineering degree and graduated from De Montfort University with excellent grades. In July 1999, Noor returned to Kuala Lumpur. She worked as a computer engineer at a private hospital. Her mother thought, with her daughter employed, the family could repay the debts together, and life would improve. But on the morning of October 7th, after her daughter boarded a bus to the hospital, she never returned. Learning this, police saw the bus as a key breakthrough. They located the bus Noor took and its driver, 32-year-old Hanafi Mat Hassan. Questioned by police, Hanafi was calm. He said Noor got on, but halfway through the journey, she hurriedly got off. Where she went after, or why she was killed, he didn't know, and claimed it wasn't him. When he spoke, his gaze was frank, as if Noor's death had nothing to do with him. Yet, through witness accounts and evidence, police confirmed Hanafi assaulted and killed Noor. A witness named Derwin said he saw Hanafi's bus stopped on the road. Through the window, he saw a shirtless woman pressed against the glass, struggling, seemingly asking for help. But as he moved closer, the bus driver leaned out and aggressively told him to leave, to mind his own business. After that, the man drove off, as if guilty. The woman's apparent plea for help, plus the driver's odd reaction, made Derwin suspect something was wrong. He tried to follow the bus. Just then, a motorcyclist passed. Derwin stopped him and shared his discovery. Hearing this, The kind motorcyclist let Derwin on his motorcycle to chase the strange bus and to see what was going on. They encountered two helpful passers-by who joined the pursuit. But when the bus driver noticed them chasing, he stopped and yelled at them. While the group was stunned, the bus driver swiftly drove away at high speed. They couldn't catch up. Hearing this, police showed Derwin photos of Noor and Hanafi. Seeing Hanafi's photo, Derwin became agitated, exclaiming he was the suspicious driver. As for the woman, the bus windows had dark tint and ads, so he couldn't see clearly, and couldn't confirm it was Noor. After learning this, the police's suspicion of Hanafi deepened. To follow this lead, they headed to the road where Derwin had seen him and conducted a search along it for clues. After searching, they found crucial evidence: Noor's handbag, keys, and bank book. This result further convinced police Hanafi was likely the murderer. To confirm, they obtained a warrant to search Hanafi's home and took his DNA to compare with samples from Noor. At Hanafi's home, police found Noor's phone and jewelry. Simultaneously, the DNA results came back. Hanafi's DNA matched the sample from Noor's body. The truth was undeniable. He was the one who assaulted and killed Noor. With irrefutable evidence, police arrested Hanafi and interrogated him. Yet faced with the evidence, Hanafi stubbornly refused to admit killing Noor. He even smiled shamelessly, claiming Noor consented to the encounter, so it wasn't a crime, and he wasn't her murderer. As Hanafi refused to confess, police investigated him further. They discovered this wasn't his first crime. He was a repeat offender with several serious prior offenses. Police investigation revealed that Hanafi was born in Kelantan, Malaysia in 1966. He was mischievous from a young age, always causing trouble outside. As an adult, he showed no remorse. Instead, he continued his criminal ways as he grew older. One night in 1988, the 22-year-old Hanafi assaulted a girl who had just finished work in a Kuala Lumpur suburb. After the assault, he fled. Although the victim reported it to the police, limited forensic technology in Malaysia at the time and a lack of key evidence like DNA meant that despite an arrest warrant issued for him, he remained free, never spending a day in jail. Escaping punishment this time only emboldened Hanafi, making him more reckless. Not long after, he committed another violent crime. In 1994, after 6 years lying low, the 28-year-old Hanafi had reinvented himself as a warehouse clerk at a freight company. Exploiting his position, he embezzled company funds. When the company discovered this, they sued Hanafi. This time, Hanafi was sent to prison, but he was paroled after just 2 years. Even more absurd, despite frequently fighting with other inmates, his prison evaluation report contained the glaring words, "Shows good attitude of repentance." In 1996, fresh out of prison and still on parole, Hanafi remained unrepentant and returned to crime. This time, he robbed a convenience store at knife point. Surveillance footage from the store showed Hanafi entering the store, pulling out a utility knife, holding it to the clerk's neck, and forcing the clerk to hand over the money. During the process, the clerk resisted losing the money to Hanafi, leading to a fierce struggle where Hanafi cut the clerk's arm. Thus, it wasn't long before Hanafi returned to his familiar surroundings, prison. But shockingly, although Hanafi should have been sentenced to 15 years, he served only 4 before release. In September 2000, Hanafi concealed his 3 prior convictions and, using a clean medical report, successfully became a bus driver. At that time, the bus company that hired him didn't even conduct a criminal background check, putting him directly to work. When he killed Noor Suzali, he had been working for just 9 days. Based on the evidence, police reconstructed the brutal morning. Around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th, Noor Suzali, as usual, boarded Hanafi's bus heading to work. Only she and another young man were on board initially. Soon, the young man got off, leaving only Noor Suzali and Hanafi on the bus. Little did Noor Suzali know, the routine commute she took daily, seemingly ordinary, would that day silently lead to a fatal end. At first, The bus headed towards Port Klang as expected. But gradually, Noor Suzali sensed something wrong. Hanafi was deviating from the normal route. An alert Noor Suzali immediately demanded he stop. But Hanafi ignored her, driving on as if he hadn't heard. Only when near Bukit Tinggi, Klang, did he finally stop. Realizing the danger, Noor Suzali grew frantic, rushing to the door to escape. But no matter how she pounded on it, the door remained shut. She despairingly realized Hanafi had locked it. Then, Hanafi revealed his vile nature. He left the driver's seat, approaching the panicked Noor Suzali step by step, a lewd expression on his face that was sickening to see. Facing this menacing man, Noor Suzali knew what was coming. So she struggled desperately, screaming for help with all her might, scratching, kicking, even begging Hanafi through tears to let her go. But it was useless. The innate physical disparity between woman and man left her powerless against the strong Hanafi. Thus, Noor was violently assaulted by Hanafi on the bus. But this was not the end. After assaulting Noor, Hanafi calmly returned to the driver's seat, appearing eager to flee the scene. Noor at this time, disheveled and with her clothes in disarray, was almost completely drained of strength. She desperately pounded on the windows, trying to signal for help to the outside. This scene was witnessed by Derwin and the others. Unfortunately, Hanafi cunningly shook them off, and the helpless Noor was led towards her tragic end. At 9:15 a.m. that same day, Hanafi parked the bus at a construction site in Bukit Tinggi, Klang. There, ignoring Noor's struggles, he strangled her to death. Afterwards, Hanafi stripped all of Noor's clothes and tossed them out the window. Coincidentally, several construction workers saw him doing this, but at the time, no one linked this ordinary-looking bus driver to murder. No one knew an innocent woman had just been killed by his hands. Thus, under the watch of several workers, Hanafi drove the bus away nonchalantly. He abandoned Noor's body in a hidden spot near the site. After disposing of the body, Hanafi did not flee. He calmly drove the bus to Klang Station. Upon arrival, he even told staff the bus had broken down on the road and he had managed to drive it back. For the next 2 days, Hanafi took leave, claiming his wife was about to give birth. Yes, this man, guilty of sexual assault, embezzlement, robbery, and murder, had a wife. Police even discovered he had been married 4 times. His current wife was his 4th. His 3 ex-wives all stated he had strong violent tendencies, that he had beaten them, which was why they divorced him. More ironically, on October 7th, the day Hanafi assaulted and killed Noor, his 4th wife indeed gave birth to a son in hospital. But the baby was premature and in poor health. He lived only 4 days in an incubator before passing. As a result, when Hanafi's crime became public, many in Malaysia saw this as Hanafi's retribution. However, it's important to clarify. A newborn's passing should not be equated with a criminal's deserved punishment. The one who truly deserves punishment is the murderer with blood on his hands. On March 12, 2001, Noor Suzali's case was tried at the Shah Alam High Court. Despite no direct evidence, no eyewitnesses to Hanafi's crime, and no CCTV on Malaysian buses then, the prosecution still charged Hanafi with sexual assault and murder. The prosecution then summoned a total of 55 witnesses. Their testimonies, combined with police evidence, formed a complete chain of proof. The 44 non-fatal wounds on Noor's body were clearly inflicted by Hanafi. Many bus company employees testified that during the incident, Hanafi was indeed driving bus license plate WDE 4256. Police also found a bus ticket in Noor's handbag, proving she rode Hanafi's bus. Finally, after 62 days of trial, the court announced its verdict. Hanafi was found guilty on both charges: sexual assault and murder. For sexual assault, he received 20 years in prison plus 12 strokes of the cane, the heaviest penalty for this crime in Malaysia. For murder, he was sentenced to death by hanging. Hanafi immediately protested the verdict and began a lengthy appeals process. On December 12, 2006, the federal court rejected his final appeal. On the morning of December 19, 2008, the 42-year-old Hanafi was executed, ending his life of crime. Until his death, Hanafi never revealed his motive or details. Police speculated from his past that seeing the bus empty, he was emboldened to assault Noor. His calmness afterwards likely came from treating crime as routine, thinking he'd served just a few years like before. To prevent similar tragedies, Malaysia's bus system underwent a complete overhaul. The Prime Minister ordered the removal of dark tints and ads from bus windows, requiring transparent glass. Every bus, besides the driver, must now have a conductor to avoid solo passenger situations. The government also enacted the Public Service Background Check Act, banning those with violent records from public transport, education, and other sectors. To this day, Noor Suzali's bedroom remains preserved by her parents. A transparent glass cabinet in her room displays her study abroad certificates, work IDs, and other belongings. Her parents' way of remembering and cherishing their daughter. Noor's tragedy, at this heaviest cost, reminds us that any systemic oversight can create openings for crime. Every compromise on safety betrays the trust of life itself, because security admits no room for complacency. That's all for today's case. What are your thoughts? Feel free to share your comments below. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow Case Diaries. There are plenty more cases coming your way. Got thoughts on today's story? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next one.